Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a thought experiment. This is something I've seen a bunch of people do on YouTube, but I was really inspired after watching Kaki's video recently. So this is the if I lost all of my makeup, what would I repurchase first? And I really appreciated Kaki's because she went into a lot of detail. I enjoy Kaki's videos in general. And then she added up the total at the end of how much it would actually cost to buy all of this. And it was a lot of money. And I think this is going to be a lot of money too. So I am going to run through a full face of makeup with some alternatives, you know, like a cream blush and a powder blush, that kind of thing. And these are all the things that I would repurchase immediately, be it from Sephora or whatever, and then I would slowly build back up from that point, I'm sure. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I am a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a particular interest in indie makeup and high-end makeup. And I tend to take a pretty analytical approach to my makeup collection and my makeup reviews. And I have new content every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. Okay, so the makeup look I'm wearing now, I did film. That video will probably go up first, we'll see. I start my new job tomorrow and I need to edit both of these, so we'll see which one is easier to edit and which one I want to have go up first. But probably the other one, I said so in the other one, but we'll see what happens. But I did use a lot of these products on my face today. I did a video, a full face of my Holy Grail products, or some of my Holy Grail products, as you'll see. But I didn't use all of these, so let's go through. So I'm gonna go through these and just describe why I would buy them and all of that. And I'm gonna go through in the order that I would use them. So first off is brows. So it would be the Haus Labs Brow Pencil. I've tried a handful of brow pencils in the past. I've not tried the Fenty. I've heard good things about those, or the Benefit. But I've tried a bunch of drugstore ones, and then I tried these when they were at Amazon. And I love these. This is the ones from Sephora. So the packaging used to be all black and they all look the same. I have a bunch of these. So when they marked everything half off at Amazon because they were switching, I think I bought like 4 or 5 of them, even though I don't use them that much because I have pretty thick brows to begin with. And then Amazon lost the order, and then it ended up showing up later. So I have like 8 after they sent the other one. It was like weeks later, the original package finally showed up. So now I have a bunch. And my husband has a bunch. But I really love this. I use the shade Soft Brown. So my brows are lighter than the rest of my hair. So this is that nice bridge between the two. It adds a little bit of darkness to my brows and fills them in a little bit. Especially right now, I was trying to trim a long hair and I cut like a chunk off right here. So I go through them pretty slowly because I have really full brows, but this is my favorite formula so far. It's soft and blendable so that it doesn't hurt like the NYX and some of the other ones I've tried were like so stiff they hurt to use. And then it's not as creamy as like the ColourPop or the e.l.f. that are like so creamy that they just like smudge and they don't really stay in place. It's like right in the middle. Perfect. So really love this. You'll see a bunch of Haus Labs here today, which will not surprise anybody who's watched the channel before. And then for brow gel, I've tried a handful. I do want to try others. There's others that I have on my list. I want to try the Kosas. I haven't, but I do really want to try the Kosas, both the tinted one and the clear one. I just haven't. But I grabbed the Refi. This is the one that I would grab first because I've used it and I know it and I really like it. It's an interesting like brow gel / brow pomade. It's got a nice like Swiss Army knife like component, so it's got a brush and a comb. Works really well. Because I have really thick, coarse brows, a lot of things don't hold that very well. So this adds hold and volume, but it's not as crunchy as some. Like the brow glue from NYX, it gets crunchy. It's too much like just a hair gel. This is like that perfect in between where it's soft enough that it doesn't make my brows feel crunchy. So I would definitely grab this right away. Okay, so next would be primer. So I would probably buy both, but I have here for sure the Milk Pore Eclipse Primer. I love this. This is basically dead, but I did buy a backup recently. So when this is gone, I already have one. I also really like the Hydro Grip. I also really like the Urban Decay version of the Hydro Grip. But I wear the Hydro Grip when I know I'm gonna wear the makeup a really, really long time because it has that sticky grip to it. But on a day-to-day basis, I like this because it keeps the makeup on, but it adds a nice mattifying effect. Like, it's not too matte that my skin feels dry, but it keeps some of the oil in my T-zone away. I have pretty normal skin, but my nose gets pretty oily, or can get pretty oily. And this has a nice cooling effect. It looks really nice. I'll wear this to add like a soft blur to my skin even when I'm not wearing makeup. So I really love this. And this is the travel size. This is the small size, but it's the same. I like that because it's easy to travel with, and I've taken this traveling multiple times. It's 20 milliliters, and then the full size is 40 milliliters, and it's exactly twice the cost. So it ends up being like, it's not like sometimes you buy the bigger one and it ends up being cheaper per ounce or whatever. This doesn't, so I just keep buying the little ones. I do really want to try the setting spray that they just came out with that goes along with that, but I said this in the other video too, I have 3 bottles of Urban Decay All-Nighter, 2 different formulas, maybe 3 different formulas, because I got like a bundle. So I'm waiting until those are gone, especially the matte one that I have. I'll wait for that to be gone before I buy another one. So I often do my eyes before I do my base, but I'll leave eyeshadow for the eye stuff for the end. So next would be base, like complexion products. So for foundation, I would 100% grab the House Labs foundation. I can wear it sheared out, I can build it up. It's the perfect match for my skin tone. Really, really love this. You can see I've already used almost half the bottle. So really, really love this. I wear it all the time if I'm wearing foundation. It's my favorite foundation, hands down. It's kind of tied with the Lisa Eldridge. The Lisa Eldridge is a little more matte and self-setting. So that would be on my list. I still haven't bought it though. So because I already own this one, this would be the one that I would grab at Sephora right away. And then as far as like kind of complexion, kind of not, I would also immediately buy another bottle of the Auric Glow Lust. So I have the shade Pyrite. Mine's almost gone. Mine's like down here, but they did have a sale. Maybe it was Black Friday. I don't remember when, but they had a sale and I was like more than halfway done with this. So I bought a backup. So I already have a backup for when this is gone. I love this. I'll wear this all over my face and then just set with powder as kind of a skin tint. It's a really beautiful mixed in with foundation if I want more of a glow, like if I'm using a more matte foundation or like the Fenty skin tint. Or, you know, this plus concealer, really great. It also is a really nice liquid highlighter. So this would be an immediate order. Like if I lost everything, I would immediately go on Auric and buy that. I feel like I'm losing my voice. I went to the bar last night for a drag show. Thankfully, because it was Sunday, it was at 7 o'clock, so it was an early time. And then I've been talking because I filmed the other video, so I'm now drinking melon flavored sparkling water. Not sure how I feel about it. It's very melony, but like, I don't know. It's good, but it's, yeah, I don't know how I feel yet. So for concealer, I might buy the Givenchy today, the last day of the Sephora sale, because as you can see, one of these is almost gone. But I do have the Kosas concealer, the Kosas Revealer concealer. I have 2 shades. I adore this. I wear shades 5.5 and 6. I think I need another one in the summer. So when I have a tan, neither of these, like, so right now, 6 is a pretty good match for like my face, and 5.5 is a good brightening shade without being too bright. And then in the summer, 6 becomes a good brightening shade because I tan really quickly, but I don't have a shade that would be good for my base. But I swatched 2 of the Givenchy shades, and one looked like a good brightening shade and one looked like a good base shade. And because one of these is almost gone, those are actually like cheaper per ounce because you get more for not that much more. So I might try those. I will see. So let me know if you want a video on those. But as of now, I would instantly buy these. I love them. It's got caffeine and like stuff in it to help as like an eye cream, an eye brightening cream to help with your dark circles. But it also just looks really skin-like. It looks really nice. It's not too much coverage, but it's not super sheer. Most on a day-to-day basis, I just wear these 2. I put a little bit under my eyes and then a little bit where I need it, blend them in, and I don't wear foundation. So I would have to buy these right away because I don't wear foundation every day. I'm wearing those most of the time. And then for setting powder to go with the foundation and concealer, I would buy the Kosas one. I really love the Haus Labs as well. I might end up buying both in this imaginary scenario, but I think the first one I would buy would be the Kosas. This is the Cloud Set. I have the shade Cushiony, which is a nice kind of medium golden. I also have the medium neutral shade, and I can use that one, but this one just works better. And really love it. I have Pan in the other one, so that tells you how much I love it. So I have Pan in one, and then this one's pretty flat because it was domed. So I would 100% buy this right away. It's like, it mattifies the skin, but doesn't make it too matte. It just looks really nice. The Haus Labs is kind of like the loose powder version of it. They're very similar. The Haus Labs adds a little bit more blur than this does. And the Haus Labs mattifies a little bit more, so that's why I might end up buying both in this imaginary scenario, but for now I'm just going to say this one because I'm trying to pare down as best I can. There's still a lot of stuff here. Okay, so for blush, actually no, for bronzer and stuff, I would buy for contour. I don't contour every day, but when I do want to, I like having one, and I would buy the Milk contour that just came out. This is the shade Stoked. I did have to go exchange this recently because I had it for about a month, but I went to finally twist it up and it wouldn't twist. It was broken. So I did go get it replaced. And I know everybody had issues where they would take the lid off and like stuff would be stuck in the lid. I didn't have that with the first one, but the thing was broken. And then with this one, it did do that where there's a bunch of product stuck in the lid. I can still use it. I tend to use it with a brush anyway and like get it on the brush and put it on for a softer effect. And once that's done, I will be able to like, you know, draw on my face with it again if I want. But the formula is so nice and the color is so nice that I would still buy it despite issues with the packaging. And then for bronzer, I would pick up 2. I'd pick up a cream and a powder. So I'd pick up the Fenty cream bronzer. This is the Cheeks Out bronzer in the shade Teddy. Really love this. It's got a nice kind of golden olive undertone. Mine looks disgusting because I use it a lot, and there's like hairs from my brushes in it, but really love this. This is technically for tan skin, but I can use it even at my palest because it shears out nicely, but it builds up. Then the undertone is just perfect. And then I would buy the Haus Labs powder bronzer right away. So this is the Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer. I have the shade 8. So it's a nice, in the summer it's a nice just standard bronzer, and then if I don't have tan, it mimics the tan pretty well, or the way I look when I have a sun, although I tan, my whole face tans, but it also like adds a nice sculpt. I tried shade 6 and it added warmth and it looked nice, but this adds warmth and sculpt, so I don't really need the contour every day, so that's part of why I really like this. I'm wearing both today, and I think my skin looks really nice. It looks very natural, too, especially for having 2 different bronzers on. But you can build it up really nicely, so it works when I have a tan, too. And then for blush, I would grab 2 right away. I would grab Haus Labs Blush, and a Rare Beauty blush. So most of this is at Sephora right now. Actually, a lot of this is from Sephora. I love the Pomelo Peach shade in the Haus Labs blush. The formula is beautiful. I would say the bronzer feels a little more like velvet. It says velvet bronzer, yeah. Feels very velvety, like a cream to powder almost. This feels a little more like clay, but in like a good way. A little more putty-like. Beautiful, really love the color. It's peach, but like a bright peach, so there's a little bit of pink to it. So it's a fairly unique shade that I have found. And then I really love the Rare Beauty liquid blushes. I have 3 of these. This is the shade Virtue, which is the new like beige peach. If this was available, I'd probably buy this one because it's a good all year, very natural blush. But I also have the shade Terracotta, or the Love is the Terracotta shade. That was the first one I bought, and if like this was out of stock and gone, I would probably buy that one. For highlighter, I already have the Auric as a liquid highlighter, and if I wanted a powder highlighter, I would buy the Haus Labs. So I have 2 of these. I have Peach Quartz, which I bought, and then I have Fire Opal, which is the orangey one. More of a glowy blush than a highlighter on my skin tone. Really like these. I would probably buy the bronze shade. I think it's Golden Pyrite. The reason I don't have that now is because I have their holiday, the Cosmetica holiday highlighter, which was their first like made in Italy thing, which these are. And that's a beautiful like bronzy, kind of olivey bronze. And I think Golden Pyrite is the same basic color, but in this formula and packaging, so I would probably buy that one. But I also really love this peach shade, and I do have that on. It's very natural and subtle, but I like the goldenness of the other one a little bit more. Okay, so next would be, let's just go to eyes next. We've got eyes and lips left. So for eyes, I would grab a handful of eyeliners because I wear eyeliner a lot. I don't always do eyeliner when I'm filming, and I'm not one that does, like, I know a lot of people do a fun, colorful eyeliner in their waterline all the time. I'm not that person, but I do wear eyeliner all the time. So I grabbed 5 pencils. 2 of these are the Makeup Forever. So these are both a lip liner, an eyeliner, and a face pencil. They're the Artistry. So I have Endless Cacao and Anywhere Caffeine. So this is like a caramel shade, and this is a cool tone, more contour shade. I can contour my face with this really nicely. I can use it as like a smudgy, soft contour on my eyes. I can use it on my lips with a cooler tone lipstick, or to just contour. And then this one is a nice, I'm wearing it with the lipstick I'm wearing now. It's kind of a nice caramel, so it works well with a lot of lips. And then I could also use that as a blush, and I have. So I would grab those instantly. My favorite other lip liner, I haven't tried the Lisa Eldridge yet, but my favorite so far other than this is the old Haus Labs ones, but those aren't available anymore. So these would be my lip liners and eyeliners / face pencils. And then these 3 are just eyeliners. So I grabbed my favorite of the Haus Labs, which is Onyx Gold Shimmer. It's technically a black with gold sparkles, but it ends up just looking like a blackened green, like a blackened olive. Love this. Wear it all the time as like a soft, like I'll just put bronzer in the lid and just put this. Looks nice in the waterline. And it's just a really pretty color. Let's see, I'll put it on my hand. And you can see it's black, but the gold sparkle really makes it look like a blackened olive. I went away from the camera. Like I swatched this at the store, and the woman, the Sephora employee was like, "Oh, is that the olive shade?" And I was like, "Actually, no, it's this one. This is the olive, and that the olive shade doesn't look as olive as this." So I would immediately buy this, and then the one that I'm wearing right now in my waterline and on my like slightly winged out on my lash is Black Coffee from Pat McGrath. Really love this. It's a little creamier and a little more blendable than the Haus Labs. And this is just a perfect dark brown. pretty cool toned, really creamy, beautiful. Really love this. I wear it all the time since I got it, so I would definitely buy another one. And then my other that I actually wear the most is the Melt Slick Waterline Eye Pencil. Actually, this is okay in the waterline. If I want something dark in my waterline to last all day, I use one of these. But this is really creamy, like not the same as Victoria Beckham, but it's up there with like that really creamy, really blendable formula. And it's such a pretty color. You can see it has a little bit more warmth than the Pat McGrath, but it's pretty neutral. It's just a really beautiful color, and I wear this all the time on my lid. Like I'll tightline with it, and then I'll smudge it I'll put it on the lid and smudge it and set it with bronzer. And that's my go-to, like, or one of my go-to, like, daily friendly smoky eye kind of looks, and really love this. I've already used almost half of it, so I would definitely grab one of those right away. I don't know if Melt is leaving Sephora or whatever, but like all of their stuff is on sale right now. So it's tempting to buy a backup, but this will still last me a while, and I'm sure I can get one later. While we're talking about eyes, I forgot to mention eye primer. So I have two. I've been using the Urban Decay, just primer potion for years. I've tried a few drugstores and a few other ones. I've tried the Sigma one. I've tried a bunch. This has been the only one I've really liked up until this point, but I recently got the NARS based on a recommendation from Lisa Aldridge, actually, and I think I like it more. So I'm gonna do a wear test soon, hopefully on like a day off, where I put the same shadow on either eye or do the same look on either eye with one and the other, see how they blend. But based on like using palettes that I've had for a long time and used multiple times with that one, I think that things blend easier on this and last all day just as well. So maybe even this might even bring out the color a little bit better. I don't know, but I really, really like this. So I would definitely grab one of the two, whichever one was in stock. Like if this was out of stock again, I'd buy Urban Decay, but I have pretty oily eyelids, so I would have to get an eye primer, and it would definitely be one of these, probably this one. Okay, so next I have eyeshadowy things. So, and I'll do lips at the end. So at like Sephora, I would immediately grab the House Labs paint. I might grab a couple of these, like the black can be a good eyeliner or smoky eye, but I would for sure get Cocoa. It's a little bit warmer than the other still, and it's a really beautiful. You can use it as an eyeliner. I've mixed it in with Glow Lust and used it as bronzer, and I've used the orange as a blush similarly. But I'm just gonna have to use my finger. It's just a really beautiful chocolatey brown. Dries fully matte, and you can see it's brighter and warmer than the others. So it's a good all over the lid kind of vibe. Like I'll put this all over the lid, a tiny dot does amazing, and then, you know, mascara. Lasts all day, and it's also a good base for other stuff. Both of these are good bases for sparkly shadows. So I would grab that. And then speaking of sparkly shadows, I would grab two of the Urban Decay shadows. I'd grab Lithium and Space Cowboy. Just got Space Cowboy, but I've had Lithium for a while, and I really love both. This is that wet effect. You can't really see it other than the sparkle, so I really like having that, and I wear that kind of stuff pretty regularly. This one has a brown base, so on a darker skin tone, it's gonna be the same wet effect that this does on lighter skin tones. And because I'm in that medium range, on me, it has a little bit of color, but not much. So it actually looks like I'm wearing shadow and not just clear with sparkle, but it doesn't look smoky or anything. I've seen really pale people use this and it looked pretty dark on them. And it looks really cool over like the Melt stick. It just like brings out all the sparkle and just, it's a really pretty two and done eye. So I would definitely grab those. And then I would need some kind of neutral shadow. So I have my bronzer that I could use as a neutral eyeshadow. But I don't have like a perfect neutral quad. I have like Natasha Denona Gold is one of my go-tos, but it's discontinued. There's some Viseart shadows that I'd probably want. I have a quad from them that has like a really nice brown and then some green shimmers. That might be one of them. But to have like good, easy to wear daily friendly shades, I would probably grab either Natasha Denona Mini Gold or Natasha Denona Mini Star if they were available. I don't know if these are being phased out, kind of like the big ones were, but Mini Gold has a really good neutral shade. It's a little darker than it looks in here, like a lot of her shadows. Perfect transition shade for me. It's got a green. Green is one of my go-to colors. And then the shimmers are really pretty. I might buy both if they were both there. And then this one, again, you've got a little more of a pink tone transition shade. It's a little more peachy versus this one's a little more like yellow based. Really nice, darker brown. So maybe this is what I would grab if I didn't want to use eyeliner as the smoke. And then you've got these really beautiful shimmers, including a blue, and a gold. So I would probably buy these if they were available. And I would instantly order both of these things from Isamaya. So I would order, I really love all of the stuff I have from Isamaya, but like instantly I would want my favorite mascara, the Rubber Lash. It's what I have on today. It adds definition, but it doesn't clump. There's nice separation and length. One coat is generally what I do, but you can build it up for more drama if you want. Really love it's just the best mascara formula that I've tried. Second best would be maybe Pat McGrath. Really like the Pat McGrath one, but this has more separation. And then the Industrial palette. So, you know, this is like neutral nude shades, or I could just use the eyeliners. And then this is like more of the grungy things I wear on a regular basis, but a little more colorful and out there. So you've got copper, you've got golds, bronzes, really cool green shades. So this would be probably the first eyeshadow palette I would buy. If it was still available, because it's not right now, I would instantly also buy the Flora Kalahari palette from Byredo. It's what I have on my eyes today. It's softer. It's a similar formula that layers and builds really nicely, but this is more refined and like work appropriate, quote unquote. Really love it. This would be the other one if it was still available. It's not anymore. They do have a new palette out and I do really want it. So that might be the other one that I would buy, but as a neutral palette, but I don't know. I don't have it yet, so I can't say, but I can say I would buy this. And then for lips, that's the last thing. So I already mentioned lip liners, and then I would get 3 other lip products. I'd probably buy my favorite red gloss from Trixie Cosmetics if it was available, but it's generally not. It's been restocked once or twice, and I have backups because of that. But for this thought experiment, because it's not a permanent item and not always in stock, I didn't grab it. But I would grab the House Labs lip oil. Really, really, really love this. This is what I was wearing for most of my last video. I wear it every day. This is like the 3rd or 4th one I've gone through, including the Amazon ones. Love it. This is the shade Secondary, which is the orange, but they all turn the same shade because they all have the same pigment. The pH reacting pigment is literally the same color in all products that use it. So they all turn the same kind of pinky tone. It's reacting to human pH, like pH different from it, not your personal pH, because we don't have personal pHs. If you're balanced, it should all be in a very narrow range. I've ranted about that before. And then I would immediately buy both my Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. I might buy one of her palettes because, you know, a good neutral palette, like Cinnabar or something would be a good neutral palette. versus the fun, you know, grungy colors of this, but I haven't tried them yet. But I might take the opportunity in this imaginary scenario. But I'm wearing Meet Me in Berlin, and it's my perfect go-to everyday shade. It's a satin. It's a brown, but with a hint of rose, like a rosiness to it. It looks so nice. It's what I'm wearing right now. Really love it. And then I would also buy Velvet Cinnabar, which is my go-to other shade. It's the perfect red, but like brick red. It's just so pretty. I wear it as a lip stain a lot versus full opacity, but I do like it. Full opacity too. Really the best lipstick formula. I really love Pat's. I really love a few other formulas, but this is hands down my favorite. So that would be the lips that I would buy. Okay, so let me look at my computer. I did make a little chart with everything that I would buy, listed them all out. So let me go calculate how much this would cost, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I will preface, I didn't spend full price on most of these things. Most of these things I got on sale, so that makes me happy. And at least one of these I got in PR from Kosas. But altogether, this would be $945.50, and that's before tax. So $1,000 almost to buy all of this again. That's ridiculous. Makeup is expensive. I really love that it's become something that brings me a lot of joy, but my wallet does not. And then I put on here, I really like the House Labs matte lipsticks, and I have these, but if I ended up buying one of those, because I really want the new maple color. I really like the current color. I like most of the ones that I have. I have a bunch of the old ones and a few of the new ones. If I threw one of those in at Sephora, that's another $22, so that would be $967. So, but about $1,000. I definitely have expensive taste, which I always have. Even as a child, I was dirt poor, like very, very poor. Like, and like sad, didn't really eat much most days, except for my free school lunch, kind of poor. But even then, my mom would be frustrated because I always wanted the more expensive things, or like, even as a kid, she'd be like, oh, we can get this pack of cheap t-shirts for you for $10, and be like, but this $20 shirt feels nicer. I'd rather just have the one. She was like, no, you need multiple shirts. You have to have the cheap ones. And one of the benefits of being an adult is being able to make that decision of like, I'd rather have the one nice thing than a bunch of cheap things. But even as a kid, had expensive taste. So let me know what you think of this video and this thought experiment. I don't know if Khaki will see this, but I know she said, do this thought experiment yourself and let me know the total that it would cost you at the end of hers. So $950 plus tax. That's gross. And that doesn't include brushes or anything, or I didn't even put setting spray in here actually, because I don't always use it. So add another $20 for a setting spray. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you do this thought experiment yourself, I'd love to know the total, especially if you're someone that like only buys like really luxury makeup or drugstore makeup. The totals are going to vary quite a bit, so I'd love to see what your estimate would be, even if it's not exact. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.